Healthy relationships and narcissistic relationships can look startlingly different, even if at first glance, both may appear to fulfill human needs for connection, intimacy, and companionship. Delving into what sets these types of partnerships apart begins with understanding their foundation, the attitudes, behaviours, and dynamics that shape the experience of each partner. In a healthy relationship, mutual respect forms the backbone. Each partner deeply values the other's thoughts, feelings, and needs. This respect appears in their words and actions. They listen closely, validate each other's experiences, and show a willingness to grow together. When disagreements arise, they approach conflict with curiosity and empathy rather than anger or contempt. Both people feel safe expressing vulnerability because they trust that their partner will not exploit their weaknesses or use them against them in the future. Communication in healthy relationships is open and honest. Both individuals articulate their desires, boundaries, and concerns without fear of harsh judgment or ridicule. Active listening replaces defensiveness. Partners strive to understand each other's perspectives rather than simply making their point. Constructive feedback is possible, and apologies hold meaning, often accompanied by real efforts to make amends. Personal growth and autonomy are encouraged in a healthy relationship. Each person maintains their individuality, pursuing hobbies, friendships, and interests outside the relationship. There is support, not control, celebrating each other's successes and providing comfort during setbacks. Instead of seeing these outside interests as threats, healthy partners see them as indications of a full, well-rounded life. Trust and reliability are hallmarks here. Promises are kept, commitments are honored, and both people know they can depend on the other through challenges and changes. There's a shared sense of partnership, a feeling of being on the same team, working together toward common goals and supporting each other's dreams. Now, let's contrast this with narcissistic relationships, which pivot around a very different set of dynamics. At the core is an unhealthy imbalance, a relationship where one person's needs, desires, and sense of self are prioritized above the others, often to an extreme degree. The narcissistic partner displays a pervasive pattern of self-centeredness, entitlement, and an insatiable need for admiration. In a narcissistic relationship, the initial stages may seem enchanted, filled with intense attention, overwhelming compliments, and grand romantic gestures. This is sometimes called love bombing. But this phase is often a tactic meant not to foster genuine connection, but to establish swift emotional dependence. Once the narcissist feels secure in the partner's affection, the dynamic begins to shift. Communication becomes less about mutual understanding and more about control. The narcissist may dominate conversations, dismiss or belittle the partner's opinions, and show little interest in their emotional world unless it serves their own needs. Emotional manipulation tactics, such as gaslighting, guilt-tripping, or stonewalling, may appear. In these moments, the non-narcissistic partner may feel confused, anxious, or as if they're walking on eggshells, unsure of what will trigger the next conflict. Conflict resolution in narcissistic relationships is often fraught. Rather than working through differences together, the narcissist might blame, deflect, or refuse to take responsibility for their actions. Apologies, if they occur, are superficial, meant to placate rather than repair. The partner's feelings are invalidated or dismissed, leading to a growing sense of isolation and unworthiness. Autonomy is often threatened in this environment. The narcissistic partner may undermine the other's independence by criticizing their friends, discouraging outside interests, or creating a situation where dependence on the narcissist seems like the only viable option. Jealousy and possessiveness surface, not out of love, but out of a desire for control. The partner may find themselves gradually losing touch with their own identity, giving up dreams and connections in an effort to keep the peace. Trust is fragile in a narcissistic relationship. Promises may be broken, secrets kept, and infidelities rationalized or blamed on the partner's supposed shortcomings. The non-narcissistic individual may begin to doubt their own perceptions and judgment, a consequence of repeated gaslighting, where reality itself is challenged and distorted by the narcissist. Power imbalances are severe and persistent. The narcissist demands attention, praise, and compliance. Their needs are urgent and constant, while the partner's needs are minimized or ignored. The non-narcissistic partner may expend enormous emotional energy trying to satisfy the narcissist, often at the cost of their own well-being. One of the most damaging aspects of a narcissistic relationship is the erosive toll it takes on self-esteem. Over time, the partner may come to believe that they are unworthy of genuine love, that their needs are unreasonable, or that they are inherently flawed. This is no accident. The narcissist uses these tactics to maintain control and ensure compliance. Despite these stark differences, it's important to note that people in narcissistic relationships are not to blame for the difficulties they experience. Narcissists often possess a powerful charisma that can be both enticing and blinding. Many people find themselves swept into these dynamics before recognizing the patterns at play. Healing from a narcissistic relationship often begins with rediscovering one's own worth, reconnecting with friends and interests, seeking professional support, and learning to set healthy boundaries. By contrast, thriving in a healthy relationship involves ongoing effort, vulnerability, and a willingness to grow, both as individuals and as a couple. In summary, healthy relationships are characterized by mutual respect, open communication, support for autonomy, trust, and emotional safety. Both partners are free to be their authentic selves, encouraged to pursue growth, and able to depend on each other during life's inevitable ups and downs. Narcissistic relationships, by contrast, are marked by imbalance, manipulation, and control. The narcissistic partner's needs dominate the landscape, often at the expense of the other's well-being. Recognizing these differences empowers individuals to seek out healthier attachments and reminds us all that love, at its best, should elevate, not diminish, our sense of self.